Hello fifth graders and welcome to another science test review. Today we are talking about diversity of organisms, and this is chapter 1 lesson 3 in your textbook, and hopefully you're following along with your notebook and you have the exact same notes that I have up here in your notebook. You can also go onto the website and see pictures of this notebook as well. Let's go ahead and get started. There's a lot in this chapter. First thing you need to know is that plants can be broken up into two categories. Just like as a teacher, when I walk into the classroom, I can divide my class into two main groups. What two main groups? Boys and girls. In the same way, plants can be divided into two main groups, vascular and non-vascular. Vascular means tubes. So plants with tubes are in one category, and non-vascular, non meaning the opposite of, it's a prefix, is plants without tubes. Okay? Some plants that have tubes, you can see there, are like long flowers where the tubes are used to transport water and nutrients from the soil. Non-vascular plants, they do not transport the water and the nutrients. They are long and flat like a sheet of paper, and they just attach themselves onto their environment like around a rock, and they just absorb the water. They just suck it up like a sponge. They don't have to bring the water up, or the water and the nutrients do not have to travel a long way. They just get really close to wherever they're getting their food and water, and they just absorb it or suck it up from their environment. That's non-vascular. You do need to know the word transport. Tubes transport the water and nutrients. In the same way, animals are broken up into two main categories, vertebrate and invertebrate. Vertebrate means it is made with a spine or a backbone. Okay, so scientists put animals into two groups. One group, does it have a spine? Vertebrates. The other group are invertebrates. They do not have a spine. You also need to know that science categorizes animals by what are called kingdoms. Animals that have the most in common, everything from a horse to a spider, are going to be in the kingdom classification or category. The next group is the phylum. The next group is class, then order, family, genus, and then species. For every category that you go down, the animals start to look more and more. Oh, I have this backwards. This should be least alike. A horse and a spider do not have very much in common. The more that you go down, the more alike each animal becomes. By the time that you get down to the species, the only thing that you're going to have is an animal that looks exactly like all the other animals in that group. So once again, up here, all animals pretty much fit into this kingdom. As you get more and more further down into these categories, they start to look more and more alike, and every animal in the species category is going to look pretty much exactly alike, except for maybe color and that sort of thing. Here is a trick that you can remember these classifications. King Peter's classmates ordered flavored grape soda. King Peter's classmates ordered flavored grape soda. We talked about that in class. Hopefully you can remember this little cute story, and that'll help you remember the different classifications for animals, the groups. We also talked about fungus and bacteria. Fungi, they can be bad, like this poisonous mushroom, or fungi can be good, like medicine. So some fungi are actually used for medicine. Fungi, they absorb food from their environment. They cannot make it themselves. They eat off dead or decaying organisms from their environment. Decomposers, you should remember that from 4th grade. And there it is there, they cannot make their own food. Mushrooms are an example of a fungus. Bacteria, sometimes that's the stuff that you see on your bread. It starts to look blue and moldy. There are 2 main categories for bacteria, just like there were 2 main categories for plants and animals. You have ancient bacteria and true bacteria. True bacteria is the stuff that lives inside of other organisms. Like when somebody gets strep throat, they actually have bacteria inside of their throat. Then you have ancient bacteria, and ancient bacteria is some of the oldest organisms on Earth. I believe that is all that we talked about in this lesson. You do also need to know that fungi can either be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means that it is made from only one kind of cell. Uni, like unicycle. A unicycle is a bike with only one wheel. Same thing, unicellular means made of only one kind of cell. But they can also be multicellular. Multi means there are lots of different kinds of cells that make up the organism. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. You've watched it on iTunes. Hopefully you watched this in your car. I look forward to seeing you in class, and I hope you did awesome on the test.